Hi, this is Jack Stanley, and I want to talk about the White House real quick. You know, the White House, which is in Washington, D.C., was built in the 1790s. Its first occupant was John Adams in the year of 1800. And it's gone through lots of repairs and restorations. It was attacked in 1814 and burned down and basically rebuilt within the walls that existed. The walls were whitewashed after the fire to hide some of the stains from the fire. It was always called the Executive Mansion, but privately people called it the White House. And it was during the administration of Theodore Roosevelt that the first time it was called the White House. Now, it was repaired, fixed, expanded, worked on, trusses built within. And by the 1940s, the building was in terrible and frightening condition. Now, here's one of the issues. First off, it was a wooden structure within the sandstone walls. And over the years, pipes were run through, sewage, fresh water, electricity, and various other things that would be run through the walls. And each time they had to drill through many of the wooden pieces that held everything together. And it started looking like Swiss cheese. And then during the Coolidge administration, they did expansions on the roof, which had a profound effect upon the 1902 restoration, which was done under Theodore Roosevelt, in which they had put this big metal truss within the White House. And then, of course, in the 1940s, things really started to look bad, and Margaret Truman's piano kind of started falling through the floor, and chandeliers were shaking, and there was something radically wrong with the building. They did inspections. They found it was standing, basically because it didn't know what else to do. And so Truman suggested that they do a restoration. Now, here's the thing. The idea of the restoration was this. It was not going to be a restoration at all. It was going to be basically we take the walls, we take the building, and we tear it all down and we rebuild and create a new structure. Truman said save the walls, and that they did. But basically, almost everything else within the building is new. There's some pieces from the old house brought back in, but a vast majority of what's in there is new. And that is the White House today. In fact, this is the report that was put out in the end of 1952, and it was talking about the restoration of the Executive Mansion. Well, it wasn't exactly a restoration. It was basically a replacement. And so today, when you go to the White House, and you hear of its history, and you hear of Lincoln walking its halls, that building's gone. It's been gone for many, many years. What exists today within those white walls, which are whitewashed because of the fire of 1814 during the War of 1812? They just started whitewashing the walls, hence the name the White House. Of course, everyone called it the Executive Mansion until Theodore Roosevelt, as I mentioned. But the thing is that when you walk through the walls of the White House, which are original, once you pass through there, you enter a modern steel building, trying to look old. But in reality, what exists within the White House is a late 1940s, early 1950s steel-supported structure, which will last for hundreds and hundreds of years. Just a little kind of interesting thing you don't think of too much about the White House, that the White House isn't quite as old as one would think. Thank you.